Hello, we are the Voices of Experience. Four pals from Toronto, Canada, all of us with quite a few miles traveled already down life's highway. While that may not translate directly into voices of wisdom, we can promise you an entertaining discussion on a wide range of topics of current interest. So, sojourn with us for a while. You'll hear a variety of points of view. You'll be amused, you'll be provoked, and you'll be stimulated. Well, hello, everyone. That's our little blurb to get things started. My name is Andrew Wood. I'm pleased to be a part of this podcast. And with me, I have my good friends, Sarab Sandhu. Just want to give yeah, and Mr. Mario Karakides. Hi, Mario. And Mr. Alex Brown. Hi, Al. Okay, well, you know what? Today, we're going to be talking about Christmas and Christmas traditions, Christmas holidays. The calendar just flipped over. It is now December 2nd, 2020. And in case anyone needs reminding, there's something passing through the world right now called COVID-19, which is going to entirely change the complexion of Christmas for so many millions of people all over the world. So, what better opportunity than to talk about it, to talk about Christmas in times past and our own times, and also, you know, what might be happening this year. So, let me pass the word over to Al Brown. Hi, Al. Do you want to get us started with this?
Certainly. My Christmas traditions, some of the process that I've been going through for many years, decades now, is basically it starts around now and it doesn't end until about maybe January the 2nd, because there's a whole ritual or process going on through this. There's parties, there's meetings, there's gatherings, and there's always a sense that there's something special about this entire month. I work with people of a variety of religions. And so there's Hanukkah going on. There's a Christmas itself, and then there's Kwanzaa, and there's the groups that I belong to. We all have a lot of parties. It's a month of something that's very special for me, and it's also a time when I am busy plotting and planning my next excellent adventure, which I usually go on just after Christmas, or it's been my habit for the last 5 or 6 years to take off throughout as long as I can in January, leaving about the 28th or 29th. You know, I've been times in the past I've gone on vacation and to a resort over January, and they really know how to throw parties.
Okay.
So it's kind of fun to get away for that.
Very good.
So, yes, it's been a fun time for me. This year, though, none of that. It feels empty. I'm not even going anywhere in January.
Oh, of course. Let's pass the word along to Mario next, and because you know what, all four of us come from such different backgrounds. I know, Mario, you have a very different story to tell about your experience with Christmas.
Well, of course, and I mean the common experience that we all have this year, especially, is, as Al Brown said, it's going to be relatively empty. I mean, we can fill it in with our own perspectives, changing our mindsets a little bit to try to celebrate as much as we can. But the traditions are not going to be the same as they were in the past. I mean, quite honestly, traditions haven't been the same when I was a child than they are even pre-COVID. I remember as a kid living in Greece, and I'm Greek Orthodox, one of the things that we used to do is on Christmas Eve, and also on New Year's Eve and on January 5th, which was the on the Epiphany Eve, we used to go around singing carols for money. So sort of like trick-or-treating like we do on Halloween, but we used to do that. And I used to have this little triangle that I used to play walking around, singing with a group of people. And, everywhere, we would get a drachma here, a drachma there, and it was fun as a kid. And it's one of the greatest memories that I had. One of the things that I remember, though, is that Santa Claus did not come on the 24th on Christmas Eve. He actually came on January 1st in Greece. And he was not named St. Nicholas. He was named St. Basil.
Oh my
So
goodness.
go figure that. I don't know how that worked out, but maybe he had a name change on the way over
Oh,
after he
there's
went to North America. I don't know. But the
yeah.
thing is this, we anticipated our gifts on January 1st. And Christmas was reserved for celebrating Jesus's birth and going to church, having a feast, all that. But the anticipation was for the gifts
Isn't
later
that
on.
interesting? That's all new to me. I had not heard that. That's interesting. Well, I'm anxious to pass the word over to Sarab because Sarab, you don't come from a Christian background, so you have, of course, an entirely different life history. Do you want to?
Yes, Andrew and listeners, I'm a Sikh, and Sikhs are quite different from Christians, but actually, in the end, everybody's the same. But I was on a ship, and on the ship, I was on a British ship actually, I was the only Indian there. And there were predominantly people from England and mostly people from Scotland. And in the company I was in, they were having two days to celebrate on the 25th December and 1st of January. The Scottish wanted on the 1st of January, and they wanted 20. They had a very good meal there. The whole day, weeks were left to make that one meal. Watches were swapped so that you could continue. Somebody else could do on 31st, and somebody could do it on 24th. And that was my experience of. And anyway, my father was in the Air Force in India, and we celebrated all these Christians Christmas every year in the officers' mess. They had a special party also. But I did some research on Christmas. Now, this is basically, it was called Saturnalia. Saturnalia.
You're talking about the Roman festival.
Yeah. See, what happened was, first there was a thing called Brumalia, winter festival, was the ancient Rome's winter solstice festival.
Yeah.
And they honored Cronus and Saturn. And then the renewal of light and coming of the new year was celebrated in the later Roman Empire as the Sol Invictus, the birthday of the unconquerable sun on December 25th.
Yeah.
And then that's how Saturnalia became Christmas, because Roman Empire came to being, and then
I think it's no accident that this particular holiday is at the darkest time of the year, just at the solstice. I mean, that's what the whole thing is. I mean, basically, fundamentally, and of course, it has many Christian connections, as we know, obviously, on the surface of it, but it does go back far, far deeper than that. And we have lost the light. We have lost the light, and that light has to come back, and deep in our souls, through these months of darkness. That's what we're looking for, and we use our little artificial lights, of course, in the meantime, to light up our homes and our neighborhoods, and of course it keeps our spirits up. I mean, this is the sad season for many people. It's a long season, certainly here in Canada. Okay, well, let me not ramble on too much about that. I do want to talk about my own Christmas history, though, because when I was young, growing up in Canada here, I must say that I probably had a typical experience of Christmas in many ways. We were Catholic. And I say we're Catholic because I haven't observed since adulthood. But as a young boy, I was the altar boy at the Christmas midnight mass. I was one of those sweet angel robed kids, carrying the big candle in, and we wore red robes on that day. Just so much. I'm not going to go on and on because we want to pass the word around, but we never set up our Christmas tree until that very day, the Christmas Eve. That's when the Christmas tree came into the house and was set up and decorated. And a couple of things. I mean, there's just so much. Okay. Well, let me... Al, did you want to say something?
Yes. The celebration of the 25th of December is actually unique to North America and Europe. When I was down in Peru over Christmas, I did that a couple of times. Their big day was the 24th. And on the 25th, it was just a regular market day.
Oh, really?
And, oh, yes. And while they a lot of people now celebrate the 1st of January as the new year. There are a lot of traditions that do not. For example, in the Jewish religion, I think the new year comes in September. I'm sure one of the listeners will correct me on that and whack me on the head for it.
No, I believe you're right.
But back over 500 years ago, the first day of the new year was actually in March. And I think it was about somewhere around 1500 AD, there was a switchover because it seemed reasonable. I think it was Russia decided to make the change arbitrarily, says, right, this is what we're going to do. And then everybody followed suit because it made sense. Just like changing over from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar made sense because our sense of time had evolved. In fact, this period of celebration is really about a sense of time, a place where we should celebrate. We tend to save all of our celebrations to this one period where we can all get together and sort of synchronize our celebrations. It makes a lot of sense to me because, you know, it's really all about getting together with friends and family and having some fun. And that's what is going to be different about this one. I enjoy getting together with my friends and family and especially you guys over Zoom, but it's just not the same as us sitting down together and talking things over.
No, well,
and I agree with Al, and let me just tell you this. First of all, one of the things that was instilled in me when I was young is even though we were worshiping and celebrating Jesus's birth, it has nothing. My parents used to tell me that it transcends that. And it transcends just the religion dogmatic part of it. What it is a celebration of love. And this is the one thing that we all share, regardless of what religion we follow, is we all want to be loved. We all want to love, right? And Jesus's principles is all based on love. All his teachings were about love, about loving your neighbor, tolerance, acceptance. We have taken it many times to a different realm where it becomes, I'm better than you. And if Jesus was alive right now, he would be cringing at the way we view religion because it has become so partisan, like our politics these days that we're seeing and the mistrust. So when I celebrate Christmas with my family, one of the things that we always celebrate is love. Now, we're blocked in these little boxes these days, but the love's still there. Love for you guys, love for my wife, love for my family. This is what it is. Love for my neighbors, my fellow Toastmasters. We should all be, feeling those feelings and expressing them to one another. I think if we do that, then regardless of what religion we are way ahead of everybody else, and bringing everybody together.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard this year, though, in the weeks to come. We are so used to getting together, friends, certainly colleagues, working colleagues, and family, and all of those, things are important to the mix. And I just do not see how, with this, with the pandemic in front of us, that whole thing is upended. I mean, for this year at least. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And there's a hole, isn't there? There's a hole in society, and there's a hole in our own hearts.
Well, Andrew, that can be changed pretty easily. The thing is, that hole has largely been created by materialism. We go out and demonstrate our love and affection for our friends and family by buying them gifts. Yeah. Well, this year, you can buy gifts for people, but you can't necessarily give them to them because you can't meet them. And I think that it's time maybe that we should reassess that approach rather than a gift-giving cycle, which really the commercial enterprises, the commercial aspect or the business aspect of our society is actually exploited very effectively. Maybe that's time for that to change. Maybe we should be spending our times doing more different things, more social contact with others, more parties.
Well, yeah, but the parties part. I mean, the parties part. That's the part that's missing. What are what are your plans? I don't know, gentlemen, among this group for people getting together in this in the coming month. Are you going to be getting together at all in small groups or
No.
um,
No, we listen. One of the things that I said earlier was it's about love, right? And for me to exhibit love, I have to respect my neighbors. I have to respect my family members. I want to keep them safe. That is my gift to those who I love and everybody around me. So exposing them to a disease, regardless of my age or my health, it doesn't matter if you're 15, 25, 45, or 57 or 50 or 67. It doesn't matter. This disease does not stay within you, only you, right? It gets transmitted. So this year, I'm going to give the gift of love and stay within my own little realm and save somebody's life and save my own life perhaps too. So, yeah.
I don't know. That's tough. Sarab, what do you want to say about it?
Nothing. Now the only thing I can say is Amazon and all other online things. By giving gifts would mean ship to the address you want to ship to, rather than going down using Amazon to do that.
That's
He's got stock on Amazon. That's why he's saying that.
That's it. Well, yes, you know what? He probably does. Okay. I don't know.
Bezos and him are like this, man. I tell you.
I don't know. We have a baby in our house, and my stepdaughter has a COVID child born in April. And I just don't see the grandmother, my wife, staying away from the child during the Christmas holiday. I'm sure that's not going to happen. So they'll probably be over. As a matter of fact, interesting detail, it's my sister's birthday on Christmas Day. Always, of course, that's an awkward day to have a birthday, isn't it? And of course, our last name is Wood. Her name is Leslie. But the nurses of the hospital, when she was born, they wanted to name her Holly because, of course, she was born on Christmas. If you're born on Christmas, then your name is Holly. Well, Hollywood. Anyway, it's her 65th birthday. So we'll be celebrating a little bit of a family. I mean, a little bit as far as that goes.
Nice, yeah. I mean, it's all part of the experience that we all have, right? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be part of a family unit as long as you make sure that family unit is protected, right? No massive parties out there. Not this ridiculous thing that we're seeing of people trying to break the rules because they've had enough, right? And they perpetuate the problem for us. Even though they don't see it, they would argue to death that it's not their, they're just defying and they're being proactive to trying to help humanity. But you know what? It's time to really look back and value the principles of brotherly love for one another. And I think that is what Christmas represents in many ways. And I'm going to end with that particular little saying from my end.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that there. Al, we should probably start just summing things up. Do you want to give us your thoughts?
Yes, I think we should all stay positive. I mean, the spirit of the season hasn't been killed off, just our activities. It's really the spirit of the season. And what we should do is look forward to the coming year with a bit of optimism. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but it's still a long tunnel. So we're going to get over this pandemic, and next year we're going to get back to normal. We should make the best of what we can, visit our friends on Zoom or whatever other system we use, talk to them on the phone, and maybe send them a few gifts, or just try and have some fun, or maybe just get outside and enjoy it. There's the fresh cold air can really invigorate your heart as well as anything. And that's one of the best things one of the things I always remember from Christmas in the past when I was at home. You could go outside on Christmas Day or after, and if there's some snow on the ground, you can just go around and have some fun in the fresh air.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good advice too. Excellent. Thank you. Saurabh?
Yes, all I'm saying is be safe this season. Try to have family Zoom calls. You can have one family calling another one, so you can have so many people there. There's one guy who does it with his family in Africa. Then he's got family in UK. There are 10 people on Zoom call every time. And that's the only way to keep. I want to bring one incident I forgot to tell you. Once we were in Bremen and it was Christmas Eve. So somehow magically there's a short problem. So everything stopped on the ship. So all the discharging stopped. And then we were having a party, and the special party we had. And then there was snowing. This is the first time we had seen snow. So we went on the snow and started having the party. We were drinking on the jetty. So by the time we came inside the ship, it was warm and really hit you. And that's the first time I remember it was totally, I was out of myself. And then the ship was supposed to leave in the morning at 5 o'clock. And it was difficult for me to wake up. That's,
It sounds like a little bit of a party hangover, maybe.
Love it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is a special year. You know, I guess we need to be kind to ourselves. I was thinking a couple of weeks ago, I was pretty morose about this, that I wouldn't even set up any Christmas decorations in my home, for example.
You should.
And well, that's it. You know, I think I will. I mean, I will. And we'll try to make some of that happen. If you have kids and you're lucky enough, you know, during this season to have kids at home or grandkids, I guess, then right there, you're going to have a pretty good Christmas, because Christmas is for kids too, right? Isn't it? So that's going to help right there. And yes. So let's make a point of reaching out to each other and reaching out to our families as much as we can in these circumstances, even though it may well be virtual. And you know what? In years to come, I think the COVID-19 2020 Christmas holiday season, as with so much of this year, will become legendary.
Yeah.
You remember when? Do you remember, you know, those times? And it's an occasion. Let's end this way. It's an occasion, if we make it so, to wind up with some good memories and some special memories. But we're going to have to make an effort to do that, and that's by reaching out and making that extra effort. Anyway, okay, Christmas 2020. Here's to it. And I hope everybody out there makes out okay. And that you're not alone. See, that's the issue. That's the real issue. Don't be alone. And best of the holiday season to everyone who's listening. Thank you.
Yeah, and use Amazon and make Sarabjit rich. Okay. So.
There's a good idea.
All right, guys.
Okay. Stay safe.